Hi, I'm Helen from the Unicorn Factory, and I've been asked by one of my patrons to make a video to show you how I use this Sulky Sticky Fabri-Solvy to transfer my designs onto the fabric that I'm planning to embroider, and also how to remove them once I've finished my embroidery. So, first of all, what is this? It's basically a sheet of fabric-like paper. You can print onto it, you can cut it out if your design smaller than the page that you're printing on. It's also self-adhesive, so once you've printed onto it, you can remove the backing and stick it onto the thing you're embroidering. And once you've finished embroidering, then it's water soluble, so you can just remove it using some water. And it is an absolutely fantastic product. I basically spent a long time trying to figure out how to transfer things, to transfer designs when I wasn't transferring them onto just plain white fabric. So if you're transferring designs onto light or white fabric, the way I was doing it was with a heat removable pen. So basically I'd use a light box, or window works when it's bright and sunny, and I'd have my design behind my fabric, and then I just draw onto the fabric with this pen. And like I said, works absolutely great if you're working with light fabrics. You don't get 100% accuracy, but it's pretty good, and it does the job. But when I wanted to start embroidering onto darker fabrics and also onto things that I wasn't going to be able to trace through, when it was thicker fabrics, things like pouches and stuff like that, that was when I started to hunt for other options. So I have tried lots of different things, and this has ended up being my favourite. Like I said, it's an American product. You can get it on Amazon. You can probably get it other places as well. So because it's American, you get 12 sheets in a pack, but because it's American, it's US letter size sheets. So I'll talk about that in a second in terms of printing. But yeah, this pack's great. For my patrons, it's a pack of 12, so it does 12. You get a monthly project with my patron, so that's a year's worth of projects. So that's brilliant. So basically, here I have it set up to print this month's patron design. And what I do is, when I'm going to print, so I'll click on the print dialog, and because it's US letter size, I actually go into the properties and just make sure that I've selected US letter before I print. I'll then put, for me in my printer, I can just put things in the back tray to print, but basically follow your printer instructions for using paper other than your normal plain white A4 paper. And basically, aside from that, it just prints really straightforwardly. So as you can see, this is the result. This is what's come out of my printer. So it has just printed on it as if it was paper, and that is now ready for me to attach to the thing that I am going to embroider. So I'll show you that next. I've just cut my design to shape on the Fabri-Solvy, and now I need to work out the position before I take. So I've still got the protective bit on the back, and I will need to work out where I want to position it. So what I do is I tend to have a ruler handy, and sort of roughly get it in the middle. If you are doing something like a cushion or anything where it matters which way up it is, make sure that the zip's where you want it to be. So for example, last month I was doing a zipper pouch, so I wanted the zip to be at the top. This month I am doing a cushion, so I'm making sure that the zipper is at the bottom. Once you're happy with the position, you can use either heat erasable or air erasable or water erasable pen, just to mark some lines. And I'm not sure if you can see on here where I've just marked where I want it to go. That's so that it just makes it so much easier once I do take the backing off. So once you figured out where you want to go, it really is very easy. You just take the backing off. Ooh, there we go. backing coming off. So just take that off and find my marks for where I'm sticking it on. Make sure that's that I'm happy with how it's lined up before I stick it down too much. And then once I'm happy with it, I just give it a good rub to make sure it's stuck down. And there it is, ready to stitch. So the next step that I would do in this now is hoop it up, then I'd stitch it. And once I've finished stitching a design, I can show you how I remove it. And as they say, here's one I made earlier. So I finished my embroidery on this and I've taken it out of the hoop. And now we're going to remove this sticky stabilizer. So I've got my water ready. This is warm water, but on the hot side of warm. And all I'm going to do is I am going to submerge this in the water, and instantly you can see that it's already started to break it down. Now what we're trying to make sure is that we haven't got any of these white bits. So I will give it a good rub, and I think this is one of the things, don't be scared to give it a good rub, because it probably won't come out without having a good rub, especially so you can see here where there's the satin stitch that still there's just, it's not quite all come out. I don't know if you can see, but just around those edges there's just little bits of white. So give it a good rub, but I imagine from past experience that with this around this, sometimes when you've got a lot of this really dense stuff, you can't actually get it all out just by rubbing. I think actually on this occasion, where I was trying to prove my point, it's actually come out really nicely. But I'm going to show you what to do if you can just see like stubborn little bits of white around the edge of some of the more dense bits that you want to get out. So all I do is I've got some hand wash here, and I just put a little bit in the water, not loads, just a little. Well, it's not a full dose, and just give that a around to make it rinse around to make it soapy. And that little bit of hand wash will just be enough. And I know it feels really scary because you spent all this time making this really beautiful embroidery, and it feels really scary that you're not it feels really scary that you're now rubbing it really like quite violently. But honestly, it will, you've done a fantastic job with the embroidery, and it will really hold up to it. So now, as you can see, there's absolutely no little white flecks, and you just go around and have a look and check, and it really is that quick and easy to get it off. So because I have used the hand wash, what I'll do now is I just get some cold water, give it a little rinse, just to make sure I've got all of the soap out with a cold rinse, give it a squeeze, and I'm even gonna give it a little wring. So again, you know, it feels wrong. It's like you wouldn't do this to other artwork, would you? Like screwing it up and rubbing it about. But honestly, it will work absolutely fine. And what we do anyway, because this is one that goes back in a hoop, is once it's dried, you're going to give it an iron, and you're going to stretch it back out on the hoop so it will go flat. So I'm now going to take this off to dry. So what I do is literally, I just get one of these little hangers. I'll put it in the hanger, and I will go and stick it on in my bathroom. Leave that up for a few hours to dry, and then I will iron it and I'll show you the finished result. So after leaving it to dry, I have given it a little gentle iron and popped it back in the hoop, giving it some tension. Obviously, if I'm leaving it in the hoop to display, I would actually finish it off by stitching around the back and pulling it around the back, but I haven't done that. But just to show you that now we've got rid of all of the sticky stabilizer and you could never tell that it was there. So I hope this video has been helpful in showing you how I use that Sulky stabilizer to transfer my designs onto the hoop and how I get it off afterwards. If you do have any questions about using it, just leave them in the comments below. And if you wanted to join us in our Patreon, if you're not a member yet, then just head to theunicornfactory.co.uk/patron to find out more information. And hopefully we'll see you in there soon. All the links and everything are below this video. And any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. See you. Bye.